What's going on, everybody? Tucker Bagley and Eliot Shorr-Parks live at the half. Eliot Shorr-Parks live from Arrowhead Stadium. Eagles and Chiefs tied at the half at 10 after Jake Elliott makes that 58-yard field goal. And Eliot, I kind of want to start there with that decision by Nick Sirianni to really let the clock run down. There's about 30 seconds to go before that kick. He let the clock run down after Andy Reid called the timeout prior to that third down. Instead of going for it, instead of trying to make it, an easier kick on Jake Elliott, they ended up getting the false start on the long snapper, which made a 58-yard kick. He still makes it, so it becomes somewhat inconsequential. But your thoughts on really playing it safe there and almost it coming back to bite them after that penalty?
Well, you're right. He did end up making it, but I thought on that 4th and 1, he could have potentially, you had 2 timeouts, you push it, you get a first down, you have 1 timeout left. You maybe take a shot or 2 at the time at that point to be aggressive. But I mean, I don't know. Like, let's be honest. The passing offense looks horrendous. So while I understand being aggressive there is downside to it. Like, Jalen could be sacked. You could not get the 4th down. I think the chances of that are somewhat slim, but that's at least worth bringing up. You could have not gotten the 4th down, but they've been horrendous so far trying to pass the ball. I mean, what does he have? 62 yards passing. I think that's probably less than he had at halftime last week because he had the big Dotson play to end the half in week 1. He's had time back there, like especially on that final drive. There was time in the pocket. Guys are just not getting open, and I think to I guess stick to the decision you were talking about. I would have been aggressive. Like with last year's Eagles, I think they would have been aggressive. But if I'm Nick and I'm on that sideline, the way they've been playing, I don't know. Like I guess I get being conservative, get the points, tie the game, and don't risk it because it was a really sloppy half, I thought, from the Eagles offense.
Yeah, the Eagles offense right now averaging 4 yards per play. Hurts 62 yards on 17 attempts, 12 completions. Like he's completing passes, but it looks a lot like it did last week where he's completing a lot of checkdowns. The play that really stands out is also on that last drive where he had probably 10 seconds to throw the ball.
A ton of time.
And ends up just throwing it to A.J. Brown for no gain. And they have to burn a timeout because he's running backwards, going out of bounds, so they don't even get that. I mean, just it looks sloppy offensively. And, really, outside of that drive where they got great field position after the missed kick by Harrison Butker that led to that touchdown, they just don't look really like they're clicking on offense. And they've tried a couple deep balls. They threw that deep ball to Devontae Smith to try and get the PI that ended up being, called off by the referee upon further review. But, yeah, I mean, just offensively, if you're looking for improvement from the passing game, we certainly haven't seen it.
Well, and look, last week after the Dallas game, there was a lot of, he was 19 to 23, a fewer throwaways. He was efficient. That doesn't do it for me anymore. There's too much talent on this offense for him to be checking it down and us talking about how efficient they are on short completions. I mean, the Chiefs have looked pretty horrendous on offense as well. And I would guess they're averaging right around the same amount of yards per play, if not more yards per play than the Eagles are.
5.1 right now.
Yeah. So they're for as bad as they have been all week. I heard they had no receivers. They're like, they're moving the ball just as well, if not better, than the Eagles are. Now, obviously, a lot of that is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has absolutely crushed them with his legs. Whenever they're in man, he is obviously seeing that and just taking off, and it's been hurting them. But to stick to the offensive side of the ball, they just have too many good players for it to look this hard. Like, ignore the stats, just watch it. For those watching the half, which I'm assuming everyone in this chat is, it just looks really difficult. And I get it's the first month of the season, and I get it's only the second game, and it's the first half of the second game, so it's not even a full second game. But on offense, they have a lot of the same guys. There's only one new starter on offense, and that's Tyler Steen. So it shouldn't, then obviously there's the offensive coordinator, and I can see a lot of people on Twitter and in the chat are upset with Kevin Patullo, and it does have 2023 vibes where every time the offense is bad, we're going to blame Patullo. But it's on Jalen and Nick too. Nick hired Patullo. It's Nick's offense. Jalen has a massive part of what happens on offense. Now, I'm watching from the press box. I'm not getting to see the replay of all these plays, certainly not getting to see them from the all 22 angle. So I don't know if guys are just not getting open. I find it hard to believe A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are struggling to win and get open consistently. So I think Nick, Patullo, and Jalen all deserve blame for this passing attack just looking sloppy. Because again, this is a lot of the same players that they had last year. So they have the one touchdown drive. Thankfully, Jake Elliott looks like he's kicking the ball better than he has in years. He had ton to spare on that catch. But outside of that one drive, which let's be honest, got on a short field because Butker missed that kick. Like it's just been a really frustrating half to watch from the Eagles offense.
Yeah, and you could use efficiency as an argument if they were moving the ball down the field, right? I mean, I think they have 6 first downs plus another 2 via penalty. Jalen Hurts averaging, just 5.2 yards per attempt. And when he's been blitzed, and we know Steve Spagnuolo likes to blitz, when he's been blitzed so far today, he's 6 of 11 for 31 yards. I mean, that's not good enough. That's
Yeah.
2.8 yards per attempt. I mean, that's pretty atrocious. So offensively, it has to be better. Defensively, if we kind of flip to that side right now, been pretty happy with the defense. Been up and down. I mean, the big thing right now is they've been unable to keep Patrick Mahomes from scrambling. Like that's really been the main offense from the Chiefs so
It's the
far.
only thing that's hurting them.
And
Yeah.
defensively, I mean, I think Andrew Makuba is probably the name that came up the most in the second half. Or in the first half, he had a tackle for loss that he split with Zadarius Smith. He had a sack that he split with Zadarius Smith. And then he also missed that tackle on Patrick
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes and got called for defensive holding that wiped out a 16-yard sack that extended that touchdown drive. I mean, it's been a lot from the rookie so far, but it's been up and down.
Yeah, no, I agree. Now, I do think like one play that's sticking out to me. So we talked in the pregame show and then also leading up to the game that Jalen Carter had to be great. Like what I heard all week was when he is out there and he's great, he changes the defense. And one play that sticks out to me is I think it was on the Mahomes touchdown run. If not, it was a 3rd and 5 play. Like if you watch that play, Jalen Carter at the snap just basically doesn't try on the play. Like he gets up, he like takes a step to the right and just kind of leans in to the offensive lineman. He looks tired out there, and it's his first game because he didn't play last week, and he's been out there quite a few snaps. So I don't think he's been great. Jordan Davis is having a good half. I'll give Jordan Davis credit. He looks in great shape and he continues to play well. Cooper DeJean with that huge tackle in the open field on Kareem Hunt. He's got to be one of the best tackling cornerbacks I've ever covered in my time with the Eagles. Like he is unbelievable in the open field, but Patrick Mahomes is crushing him. Patrick Mahomes running the ball is absolutely killing him. The Chiefs, I turned to the reporter next to me, a few minutes into the game, and I was like, the Chiefs looks like they're not going to be able to get 14 points, and they're not there yet. They're still only at 10. We'll see what the second half adjustments are, but if they don't find a way to stop Mahomes, they're going to give up, I think, another, I would say at least 10 points. So you're talking about having to get into the 20s if you're the Eagles to win this game. But then again, if they have to take a lot of resources on defense or even one player and spy Mahomes, like how's that going to impact the rest of it? So just the defense has been okay outside of the rushing yards. It really is like not all the talent. Most of the great players on this team, or at least the ones from last year, are still on the offensive side of the ball. So on defense, I can accept like a somewhat slow start. And this hasn't even been a slow start. They've only given up 10 points, and it's just the rushing yards. But at least on defense, I can say Makuba's playing, Jahad Campbell's playing, Jalex Hunt is playing, Adoree Jackson is playing. He was in and out of the game, obviously with an injury. On offense, like the whole entire talking point of bringing Patullo in was continuity. Like that was the talking point. And they look like they certainly did not pick up where last year left off, like without question. They look terrible. And so the defense, again, we can get on them about the Mahomes rushing yards, but last week when Jalen was running the ball up and down the field, I said it was a result of the offense not playing well. I think the defense, to a certain degree, deserves a little bit of credit for the fact that the only thing the Chiefs have going is Mahomes running when the play breaks down. Now they have to figure out a way to stop it, but outside of that, they are doing a decent job, but the offense has to be
Yeah,
better.
so I mean, as we wrap up here, Elliot, you obviously predicted a loss. You said that all week. You said it on the pregame show today. Now
Yeah.
at the half, tied at 10 from what you see in the first 30 minutes. What are we saying after this game is over? Are we reacting to a win or are we reacting to a loss?
So actually, in a weird way, I feel a little bit better than I did going into it. Like the Chiefs are really struggling on offense. Like they just don't have a lot of talent. But the Eagles are so sloppy on their own offensive side of the ball. I don't like. Do I think the Eagles can get to 27 points? Like they might, but I think the Chiefs are going to score at least 10 more points. The one thing I'll say quickly before we wrap up too, the atmosphere here is not great. Like it's not loud. The fans seem tense. So I haven't. You might have seen more about it on TV about the heat, but like I don't know. So I'll pick the Chiefs to win because I stuck with it, but I think it's definitely a game there to be won for the Eagles.
Great. So that was Eliot Shorr-Parks. I'm Tucker Bagley. Elliot will be back with James immediately following the game right here on our YouTube and Twitter to react to, Eagles Chiefs Week 2 Super Bowl rematch. But for Elliot, I'm Tucker, and we'll talk to you guys next.